Hello, I'm Martin McConnell, Public Information Officer for Ascension Parish Government, and I'm very pleased to be here with our Parish President, Kenny Matassa.
Thank you, Martin, and I'm very happy to be here, and I want to thank Mr. Kevin Kelly for this beautiful homeless house that he has and afford us the luxury of doing the interview here.
Kevin Kelly with Homeless House has invited us to be here. It's just beautiful, decorated for Christmas, for the holidays and everything. Well, Parish President, we're coming to the end of your first year in office, and I think by every recollection, this has been a very eventful year, 2016.
To say the least, Martin, it's been a very full year with a lot of happenings, and I took office in January and just went from trying to organize to into catastrophes, and so, but we made it through it with the resiliency of the people of Ascension Parish.
Yeah, we have, and I know that you have had your hands full all year, but we wanted to share with the people some of the things that you have been able to accomplish during this first year in your administration. I think one of the very first things that you did was you combined two departments. You took the DPW and the Drainage Department and you combined them. How did this help? Why did you do that?
Well, when I first took office and I was getting calls, and the lady said, well, I called DPW and they said it's not them, it's the others, it's major drainage. It's not the front ditch, it's the back ditch, it's the side ditch. And I looked at it as all as one drainage ditch, whether it's in the front or the back or side, and combined DPW with major drainage to get the problem solved efficiently.
And I think another thing that you added in there was a pavement section.
Yeah, that's another deal we looked at. We were doing this cold patch stuff in the subdivisions, which doesn't last long. People know that it breaks up after a couple of weeks, and so we bought some equipment, and we are in the process of starting pavement management, which will go into mostly subdivisions and fix the repairs correctly to make the roads last twice as long. That will get us to save money to put on major roads.
And so by combining the departments together, you can accomplish that and
yes,
save
correctly, and it will be more economically feasible to do those things, and they will last a lot longer.
And now we're also doing some cutting edge stuff. I know under your initiative, Ascension has become one of the first parishes in the state to authorize ride sharing programs such as Uber.
Well, Uber is a new business that we always welcome in new businesses in Ascension Parish.
Yeah.
And also it is a safety aspect, and you do know our roads are well overtaxed. So I got together with the Sheriff's Office and we put together with Uber an app for Ascension Parish for people to use to call Uber. They can get a ride anywhere as they want in the parish, or if they had a little too much to drink at a bar or whatever, they can get home safely.
So it takes some of the traffic off of the roads, hopefully, and it's also a public safety issue that you've worked with the Sheriff's Office on as well.
Right, we work very well with the Sheriff's Office on this.
Well, and while we're on cutting edge, you have a really terrific technology department in Ascension Parish Government, and they recently won an award for their GIS program, a national award.
Yeah, my director, Brandon O'Day, and Brian Martinez developed an app for My Maps that won an award in California. I had to send them over there to get the award. They did a great job, and it's great for the citizens. You can pull up on our website, My Maps, and find things out about schools or zoning or drainage and stuff like that.
So you can, people can go to this app and they can find out what school district that they live in, what parish council district they live in, how their property is zoned. All of that is there.
Right.
That's a great service. That's cutting edge stuff.
Right.
And so moving on, we're making changes. You're getting things done. You hired SSA consultants to do a salary survey for Ascension Parish, but that has grown into something much larger now, hasn't it?
Right. According to our charter, every 3 years, we're supposed to look at the salaries of surrounding parishes and private the plants and different things. And so what I did, I just got with the council, we went a step further to look in each department to make everything more efficient and to check to see if the employees have the tools they need to work smarter.
So you're just trying to make parish government work more efficiently through the mapping system, through the DPW combination, and now through the salary survey. You're looking at all the departments.
We're looking at everything.
And it looks like it's working out very well. Now, we talked a little earlier about the Uber program and everything. Well, I think everyone agrees the number one issue when people talk about Ascension Parish is the traffic. What are you doing now to deal with the traffic issue in Ascension?
When I took office in January, I looked at the first through road we had in 30 years from St. Landry to 44, which will relieve a lot of traffic from Lamar-Dixon and coming and going. And it took us to October to get all the right-of-ways straight. It wasn't ready to bid. And so when we got that straight, we find out that the state is in such bad financial problem, we got cut of the $5.2 million that was supposed to be afforded by the state on this project. But I gotta say, working with the governor's office, we're working very hard to put everything back in place, and hopefully we can have assurances in January to bid this project. Also, every year we're supposed to do some road maintenance projects, and we hadn't done one in a couple years or so, but we are putting together the 2016 packages out for bid right now to do some overlays. Now that's just for the maintenance. Now the maintenance is one thing, but we're also looking at bonding out $15 million to do turn lanes and roundabouts and maybe widen some roads. So that project is almost ready to go. And the major thing we have to do is we have to have a plan for the major construction of roads in areas of new schools or sheriff's departments stuff. And so we put together all agencies to put together this master road plan, but it'll be a lot more than that. It'll be where we need to put the schools at and maybe a new fire station or even a substation for the sheriff's department.
So this is something where Ascension Parish government is working with sheriff, working with libraries, working with schools, working with all of the agencies for a master transportation plan.
Right, and we just put together this company to do it, and we will be organizing everyone to meet. Everybody knows as far as our schools are great, and we got to keep up with the growth, so they're putting them all over the place. But you got to realize that when they put up a school, they need to be able to take those cars and put them on their property or whatever, because if you go down the road where the school lets out, it's backed up for miles. And things like that, we're going to work together to remedy.
Now, 10 years ago, the parish talked about putting a traffic impact fee into place. And for whatever reason, it wasn't done, but you did take care of it. You accomplished that.
Well, Martin, you know, when I told the people of Ascension Parish that I could put things together without any new taxes, and they've been looking at this, and I got everybody together, and we came up with a transportation impact fee. And nobody likes to be charged for things, but we have to do something to generate some funds. Now, so far, this area has generated enough funds to put the plan together that we can move on and try to build Ascension correctly.
And so the impact fees are paying for the master transportation plan. Yeah. Well, something that was in the works for a long time, but that you were finally able to accomplish, was the purchase of People's Water Company in Donaldsonville. It's now Parish Utilities of Ascension. How did that help? How did that get done? And
for 20 years, People's Waters hasn't been hardly fixing anything over there, and they have had a lot of problems and leaks, and so they have very, very low water pressure going outside of the city. So years ago, the parish got together and made ACUD 1, which is in the rural areas of Donaldsonville.
It's the water district for the unincorporated parish of the west side.
Yeah, right. We purchased them for really 3 reasons: for safety, for the pressure of the water, and for the economics. Right now, on the West Bank, ACUD 1 buys its water from St. James and Assumption.
Right.
We will connect everything together and get all of the water coming from people. So through the years, it will pay for itself. Plus, we're going to fix the lines, and we're going to redo the plant.
So this was really a win-win for everybody on the west side of the parish. People's Water in Donaldsonville got the improvements they needed, and ACUD in the rural area got the fresh water locally.
They will. It's all in the plans, and we're about to start implementing.
Okay, now something that has been talked about a whole lot, and I don't know that we want to rehash it, but everybody in Ascension Parish was affected, either directly or indirectly, by the 2 floods that we had this year. Why don't you tell everyone where we are on our flood recovery, on our disaster recovery? What's going on now?
Well, you know, we were hit hard in March, but not as hard as we were hit big time in August. And so we've been working hard with FEMA, very hard to work with. You get a FEMA manager, 2 weeks later, he's going somewhere else, you got a new manager. We done had 8 to 10 managers already. So we're working for the people, and we're trying to get them. Everybody deserves to be back in their homes, and we're working very hard to do that. But we had to come up with a formula to help the people that want to work to get back in their homes, because FEMA set a level of 50% damage, and if you were over 50%, your house is supposed to be either raised or torn down. But what we did, we got together with the planning and zoning, Mr. Fournier, and we came up with a formula of $1.31 a square foot to remodel, not the $81 a square foot that FEMA wanted us to use. So you don't move forward with FEMA unless you get approvals. If you don't get approvals, then you're gonna get in a bond, and you're gonna lose a lot of money for the parish. We're working with everybody. We hopefully, people that have problems are contacting us. We can't tell FEMA what to do, but I can be their advocate for them and raise a lot of hell with FEMA, and that's what we're doing right now.
Well, and one way I think that you helped the people is you waived the permit fees for people who needed to get back to do construction or repairs to their homes. You didn't charge any fees for the necessary permits that they need.
When we were under, and we are still in a state of emergency, I changed the law that you had to buy permit fees, and we waived them. But our council was very good to enact it to retroactively waive all fees pertaining to any kind of water damage. And so that's either remodeling a house or building a new house or getting rid of an old trailer and putting a new trailer in it. Anybody that was affected by the water, we are not charging any fees. But we have got to do inspections, because one thing is our 911 system. East Baton Rouge and Livingston, they waived all the permits. So if you don't get registered with your address and you have a heart attack or need an ambulance or even a policeman, they're not going to know where to go. So we had to do that. Now, if you need an inspection or a permit or whatever, we are working with people to get them, fast as we can. And if you need an inspection on the weekend or whatever, all we got to do is call, and we're going to get it done.
A way to help the people, to work with them, but to protect them at the same time. Yeah. Now, I know that when you first got elected, one of your priorities was the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. And you made some changes out there, and it looks like those changes are paying off. What's going on out at Lamar Dixon now?
Lamar Dixon is our diamond in the rough. Mary and Bill Dixon made us a deal we couldn't refuse to take it over, and we have. Well, I hired a director, Mr. Kyle Rogers, and he's done a great job at putting events together. And this coming year, he has 350 events scheduled to be done. Also, Lamar Dixon is used for any kind of catastrophe we need for emergencies. During Katrina, we housed people in the trademark that live there, and all other buildings had utilities and church groups and such, which we had under these events. We had the same thing, but the problem is it was our people, and that really hurt my heart to have Ascension Parish people in the trademark living there for months. Kyle Rogers is doing a great job. We have an event in September that is a music fest that's going to be 3 days. It's going to be phenomenal.
Just like Jazz Fest in New Orleans, but it'll be here in Ascension Parish.
But a lot more family oriented than Jazz Fest. They're going to have tents and things where people can pitch tents on site with their family and the kids, and 3 days of different kind of music each day, all family stuff.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of events at Lamar Dixon that have appealed to certain different audiences, but I think your focus now is more family-oriented things that will bring families in to enjoy what we have at Lamar Dixon.
Definitely family-oriented. We even have a chapel on site where people can get married, and then they can go to one of our buildings and have a reception.
Have a reception, yeah. We got something for everyone at Lamar Dixon.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a very wonderful thing. So I think just by seeing all of this, people can see that this has really been, 2016 has been a very eventful year for Ascension, for you and for Ascension Parish. And now 2017 is coming up, so why don't you tell some people what's coming up in your pipeline? It looks like you're finally going to get that Edenborn extension that will help Lamar Dixon, that will help transportation in the parish, open up a lot of that area.
Well, that road in Edenborn, we're going to work diligently to have it finished for 17. And working with the sheriff, working with the governor's office on funding, we have already surveyed it, and we're going to start clearing the property. So we're going to be ready to go, and that road will be in as soon as we can get assurances from the governor's office.
That's good news for everybody. Now, there's another thing that you're doing, another service that I think is going to be wonderful. Service for the people is you're putting in a 311 system in Ascension Parish. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm the type of guy, I hate when people say, I had to call 5 different places and I still don't have the information I want. So I have a company I hired to look at the 311 system that Baton Rouge is using. This guy did first call service, so he's very knowledgeable about putting these systems together. And we're going to put together a 311 system that a resident can call, and that operator can direct them to the information they need. Now, it will be stored in the computer so we can check to make sure the service has been done.
So one call, that's all?
One call, that's all.
And then we also have the follow-up when that call comes in.
Correct.
It's logged in the computer. That's going to be a very, very good service for the people. Well, sewer has been a discussion in this parish for decades. Can you give us an update of where we are on sewer?
When I took office, I said I was going to look very hard at the sewer. And what we're doing right now, we have a contractor that's getting ready to start a discharge to the river in Dara that is going to alleviate a lot of wastewater in the ditches in that area. That is the start of parish-wide sewer.
So we're looking forward to that, to seeing what else. Well, I really want to thank you, President Matassa, for being here with us, for giving us that end of the year update and letting us know what has happened and what is going to happen. Appreciate very much your being here. Is there something that you wanted to add, to tell the people of Ascension?
Well, I want to tell the people of Ascension Parish, we don't have a West Bank and an East Bank people. We have one parish, and I just want to tell them Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, and God bless each and every citizen of Ascension Parish, and may God bless Ascension Parish.
Well, thank you. We want to thank you, everyone, for watching, and we wish you a happy holiday season and a safe and prosperous new year.